So I gave myself a Toni Braxton / Halle Berry 90s haircut. I've been cutting my hair since May. It is now July.
No way.
So therefore, this should tell you I am going through something. Okay, you know how a woman cuts her hair because she's transitioning into becoming someone new. So I guess that's what I was going through, y'all. Now, honey, when I say transition, I'm not transitioning my gender. Let's be clear. No shade to anyone that did or is. What I'm saying is mentally and physical appearance-wise, not gender. Let's get that on the record. Because I don't want to be like, well, she did cut her hair. She's looking like Bruno Mars right now. Now, would I have liked for a certain someone to see my hairstyle because they liked when I wore my real hair? Yeah, that would be cool. And do I also want to sniff his neck and spend quality time with him, as well as have a drink, my favorite drink that he used to buy for me, and he probably gave my drink to somebody else because I haven't been there in months. Aww. Do I also want to go in his room and yeah. Anyway, so let's get into it.
Openly expressive truth, sharing all that we've been through.
This is Openly Expressive, Season 5. I'm your host, Naisha. Today is July 11th, 2025. So, my babies, I hope that all of you are well, physically and mentally. Me? Today I'm okay, Let's play catch up. First of all, the previous time that I have spoken to you guys was January 25th. The day before my 44th birthday. That was around the time where I was saddened because I wouldn't even say depressed, because that situation, you guys who are avid listeners know the situation, the demise of that situationship / relationship, whatever you want to classify it as. I was expressing to you guys that I wanted him to at least hit me up for my birthday, which was the following month, and he did. Y'all know how we was locked in, or was. I don't even know what to call it at this point, past or present tense. It's looking like the past, really, unfortunately. But to catch you guys up on things, we finally went out on those dates. They were simple dates, but they were dates, needless to say. It was nice. Everything was on the up and up. We got back into it like we never left, but it actually was better because he changed a whole lot. So from January until May, we were a on thing. We weren't titled, but it was cool. And he actually became the person who I was wanting him to be those 5 previous years. But once again, it has reared its ugly head. Fast forward to May, we had a thing turned into what it turned into. And we are no longer. Once again, it has always been this shit. I hit him up for Father's Day. I bought a birthday card for him, which is in August, and who knows if I should send it because I don't want to be made a fool. But the sentiments were there when I picked up the card. So I don't know what this is, what it was. Ultimately you do know what it is because you can make the choice for yourself. But the way it ended, quote unquote, or ended without the quotations, it was abrupt. And sometimes when things end abruptly, that could be a relationship or a move, a change in career, change in health. Hurt because it's shocking and it just uprooted you from the comfortable position that you were in. And it's like, oh shit, well, I got to readjust myself now. And sometimes that readjustment we're not ready for. And many times the readjustment is necessary. But when you're not ready for that readjustment, it kind of fucks you up, mentally and sometimes physically. But I haven't been like super depressed like I used to be. In actuality, I can't say that because first of all, I told you I've been cutting my hair since freaking May, like I was Edward Scissorhands or something. But I was wearing my real hair for some time. It grew out and I liked it. It was a bob. So I tried to even it out. It went completely left, and then I wound up having a pixie cut. Like in the front had like a long bang. It was more so asymmetrical, giving salt and pepper vibes. But then I kept cutting it. And I think since this demise of us again, it bothered me. So females, you know how females cut their hair when they're transitioning into a new beginning, and breakups and just a multitude of reasons why. So fellas, if you see a female cutting her hair, please believe she's going for a change, and that change might be getting rid of your ass or just completely getting you out of her system. So beware, my friends. With that first snip, you better get your shit together. That's just something that women do. But now I am here, like, oh my gosh, what the fuck did I do? And I always wanted to cut my hair, but I was like, I have big ears, and I'm like, that's not gonna look right. But you know what? I'm committed to it now. Okay, this is the type of commitment I need in a relationship. Stick that shit out, no matter what it's looking like. And I don't mean like if it's like turmoil and it's just chaotic and unhappy times all the time. Not that. I mean like some things are workoutable. You know, you don't have to turn everything into a battle, compromise, listen to the person, attend to their needs, things like that. Work things out. Stop always being quick to bail. Because, honey, I could have bailed with this pixie cut, okay? I could have threw one of my wigs on as I normally would do. But, you know, I'm committing. I'm 44 now, and it's giving grown and sexy vibes. For some reason, when I cut my hair, I feel like super sexy, classy, boss ass chicks, that girl, and very confident. It's crazy because with my long hair, I used to have hair all the way down my back, down to my backside, and then I cut it and cut it and cut it. I always had a thing with cutting it since I was 16. I don't know what that's about. Probably because I was the only girl in the hood with the longest, curliest, prettiest hair, and I was trying to fit in because I knew these bitches were jealous. Who knows? I think it's a psychological thing. So it's just a thing that I've kept doing throughout the years, and here we are now. My ears are showing. My hair has to be done at all times, my friend, because when you have this pixie cut, you must commit to the lifestyle. Your face is showing at all times. You can't hide behind a hat. I mean, you can't hide behind anything. So I'm making it do what it do. Keeping eyelashes, nails, eyebrows, or, you know, the aesthetics to make it look nice, to put it all together. I thought I wasn't depressed, but I started doing things like cutting my hair, overeating, oversleeping. And the thing is, people think that depression is like you're just sad and crying, can't function. That's not it. There's functioning depression also. So I would just throw myself into activity. I have started my self-love, self-care, mental health journey, and I've been taking myself out on solo dates, to brunch, lunch, to the botanical gardens. They say sometimes you need to just stick your foot in the grass. And I put my foot in the grass, literally, and it felt good. Sat there, did some, created some content and took some videos and photos just for my keepsake and to reflect back on what I'm doing for myself on this journey. I also purchased some Maxwell tickets, guys. I am going to take myself to the Maxwell concert in September. And at first I was hesitant because I'm like, that's awkward. First of all, I'm new to this whole solo dating thing, okay? So even me going to lunch by myself a few years ago, I felt so out of touch, and I was like, this is awkward sitting by myself. So then a man, I don't say gentleman because he was so annoying when we exchanged numbers, but that was during the hiatus of me and this guy once again. So anyway, we exchanged numbers, and he was just, it kind of took me off my square because I'm like, okay, I'm here on a solo date, as you can tell. And he was also, so you got to finish your bacon, eggs by yourself. Why would you come and bother me when I am scarfing down mine? But that's just how men do. They get it where they can get it. And it's just like, damn. Come on now. But anyway, so we exchanged numbers. Let's get into that real quick. We exchanged numbers. We talked on the phone. He called me or whatever. But he wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. And I'm like, red flag. So I had to part ways with that. And I have grown accustomed to, when I see red flags from someone in the beginning, I just exit now. But for some reason, I just be lingering on to this guy who y'all know I'm head over heels for, like flies on shit. But the new people, you get the fuck up out of here, because I'm not about to take on no new nigga, no problem. That nigga work for me, because you might be a psychopath and I don't want to have to do you dirty. I don't want to go to jail, okay? I don't want to get locked up ever again. So anyway, back to that guy. We were talking on the phone, and I just had to be like, you know what? This conversation is very reminiscent of someone that I used to be with, which I'm talking about my oldest daughter father, because when I was a teenager, he was very overbearing. And I wasn't as outspoken as I am now. And I wasn't assertive. I was kind of meek and mild. I still said my little 1 2 1 2, and you're not gonna play with me or whatever. But I wasn't this version of me who get you the fuck up off me on sites if you play with me. But then I would be like, he would be shouting in my face, yelling at me, all of this stuff, and cheating on me with a dirty, dusty chick across the street. And I would see it, and I would be like, well, I see him in her window. Let me go back in the house. And I can't believe till this day I was that girl. You couldn't dare play with me like that right now, okay? But, you live and circumstances, the bad circumstances of life change you. Force you to mold yourself into a version that you never thought you would be. So, the guy who I exchanged numbers with, was very, I don't know what he was. He was just doing too much, and I couldn't get a word in edgewise. And I told him, I was like, you know what, this is feeling very reminiscent of a relationship that I had in the past, and I don't want to move forward with this conversation. So what we're going to do is we're going to conclude here. I wish you well and God bless. No hard feelings. And I hung up. So he was blocked. And a month later, he's going to hit me up on WhatsApp. And I'm saying to myself, like, what thrill did he get out of that? Did it remind him of his mom who cusses him out and put him in his place? Did it give him an epiphany to where he was like, well, maybe she's right? But it's still in all, I've only seen you for like 2 seconds at the table. We exchanged the numbers. We only had less than a 5-minute phone call because I cut that real short. So what made you want to think about me a month later? You're weird. You gotta go. You're very obsessive. And hell no. Imagine if I gave you some. No. Strike 2, there was another guy who tried to talk to me during that whole hiatus of me and this guy. So I gave him my number. And instantly he called me 5 minutes later. Like, I was still parking my car, and I texted him. I was like, oh yeah, I'm parking, I'm about to go upstairs. We could talk later. 9 o'clock come, he hit me again. 9:15, like, he just kept hitting me up, and I was like, oh no, fuck no, I didn't even give him none. Imagine if I did. He sounded like he was a killer. But I realized he's a Pisces, and my son is very I wouldn't say clingy, but my son is very oblivious to the fact that you can be overbearing to people, and that's a turn off. So I realized that. So I was just like, nah. So I blocked him. What happens? He hits me from another number probably a week or so later and was like, oh yeah, I forgot to give you my second number. You know that I blocked you on the first initial number. You just created one of those app numbers to hit me up and try to play it off like you didn't get blocked. You got blocked, and you're going to get blocked here. That was a week later. A month later. And I don't know what the thing is about these weirdos thinking about me a month later, my friend. It's not a coincidence. It's a thing. A month later, he texts me, hey, stranger. So I'm like, who is this? Because it was from a whole different number. Your number's not saved in my phone. I said, I'm quite sure it's someone that I don't want to talk to. So he goes, it's me, light skin with freckles. And I'm like, well, the guy I was dating in Georgia, he's light skin with freckles. But he wouldn't announce himself like that if he changed his number. So who the fuck is this? Then I say, oh, no, it's the crazy guy. He got blocked. So there was another guy prior to all of these other weirdos. So we exchanged numbers, and we was cool. We talked for like 3 hours. I don't think I spoke to somebody that long in a long time, but I make people very comfortable with their conversations and letting them be themselves. So it was a vibe. It was what it was. But he started talking about what he would do to me and what he wanted to do to me. Da, da, da. First of all, you don't even know me, my friend. You just met me today. Second of all, you don't even know if I'm a man. You don't even know what I have in my pants. You don't know if I have an Adam's apple. You don't know anything. You just met me a little bit. And you talk on all of these things. And not only that, all of that stuff that you're talking to somebody that you just met, you don't even know what I got going on. You don't know if I got an STD or whatever. So it's just like, if you're talking that to somebody that you just met, you're talking that to other people too. And you are the one at risk, okay? You are a high risk person, and I don't want to deal with that. So that was that. So it was those 3 dudes. And I was like, you know what? This dating bullshit is like, ugh. And I think that's another reason why I stay with the guy so long, because he's a familiar place, and I didn't feel in danger even when he had his fits of rage. I thought it was quite pathetic, because you sure you want to do that? Don't. But anyway, word of advice is, you see those red flags in the beginning, you gotta go, because red flags are always red. I don't want you to say they're fuchsia, they're burgundy, they're red. Even if you just see the tip of that red flag, it's a red flag. Run. So I've learned to run from those new red flags. But anyway, so I guess I was going through things with this guy once again, and I cut my hair, but I feel powerful. For some reason, every time I go outside, there's always a guy talking. There's always someone trying to talk to me. The females are saying my hair is pretty and it looks really nice, and the guys are like head over heels now. And I don't know what it is with the short hair. Is it bringing out your feminine side, my friend? Because you really want to be with a man? I don't know, but these guys are going nuts for my pixie cut. It's I didn't shave it in the back. I just cut it down real low, so it looks like it's shaved though. But it is so freaking cute, y'all. And I'm not sure where this powerful boss ass chick move come from, but it feels really good. So ladies, if you are thinking about cutting your hair, do it. Do it. It's very invigorating, very liberating. And I don't even like black hair, y'all, at all. But it's jet black, it's short, and two things that are not my norm, but it's my norm now because I actually love it and I'm thinking about keeping it permanently. And I also think it has to do with not only the demise of that situation with that guy, I also think it has something to do with me embracing myself, me loving myself, me going on my self-love and self-care journey and mental health journey. I think that in order for you to love yourself, you have to embrace yourself, every part of you, your flaws, your faults, and all of those things. And we give love to so many other people, and oftentimes we forget to give it to ourselves. And it's crazy because we spend the majority of our lives catering to others, and we just put ourselves on the back burner, our needs and our wants. We don't give it a second thought. So start implementing the things that you want to do in your life that you've always dreamt of doing, the places that you always wanted to visit, the foods you always wanted to try, the events you always wanted to attend. Do those things. Get your nails and your hair done and your feet done. Fellas, get your hair cut. Get a manicure, clean under them filthy ass nails, put some cologne on, get you a shape up, trim your beard, do all the stuff that we need to do. Work out, lose your weight, put a little pounds on if you're a twig and you want to fill out a little bit more. Do what makes you comfortable. Do what makes you happy, okay? Do what's best for you. And don't take the opinions of other people on what you should do with your life into consideration if it's nothing but an opinion. You can't tell me what you think I should do with my life. This is my life, And someone always wants to dictate what you do with your life. Now, it's different if you ask them a question on which way you should go or what decision should you make. Okay, yeah, converse on that. But don't dare take the opinions of what people think that you should do. Because 9 times out of 10, the people that always have something to say about what you should do with your life or what you're doing with your life, their life is fucked up. They're doing nothing with their lives, okay? They're miserable souls. Even if they're well-traveled, well-groomed and everything else, they're miserable souls. Don't let the outside fool you. Some people are just internally miserable and they project that upon others. Just mentally jaded. And there's no amount of time, love, and effort that you can put into a situation or a person that will change them. They have to ultimately want to change. So speaking of change, I have been in therapy for the past 2 or 3 years and I've been going every week. The other day I actually joined a group therapy too, so I have therapy twice a week. Wednesdays my therapy has been pushed back to Thursdays, so Wednesdays I have my group and Thursdays I have my therapy. I'm doing all that I can do, and it's crazy because some people shun me going to therapy or they think it's not working or whatever it is. First of all, you can't tell me what the fuck is working for me. Second of all, how dare you try to diminish my accomplishments? How dare you try to talk shit about someone trying to heal and actually taking the steps to do so because you didn't have the guts to do it? And I realized I need to stop taking things personal, or we need to stop taking things personal, because these people who always have things to say about us, they're just projecting. They're projecting their own insecurities, their own hurts, their own unsatisfactory lives, and they project that onto you. And a lot of the times we deal with people, we have that whole crabs in a barrel syndrome where you try to better yourself and uplift yourself and rise to the top, but those people who don't want anything for themselves, they'll bring you back down, just like the crabs in a barrel. He crawls up to the top and his associates pull him back down. And that's so sad, because I'm the type of person that as I rise to the top, I try to enlighten people. I try to bring them with me. I try to give them the skills and the tools and the knowledge and all of the stuff that I've gained to navigate this healing journey. It's not easy. It's not a quick fix. It's not you're going to be fixed overnight. But I noticed the change in me, the gradual change in me. And for those of you who are my Advent listeners, you guys can sense it from season 1 to season 5. My demeanor, the way I speak. I'm also trying to speak more slowly because I know that sometimes I can speak very fast and that goes over some people's heads. But I think that it's just, I have so much to say. I have so much crammed up in my thought process that I have to let it out. Sometimes I notice that I have offended people when they were talking to me and I cut them off. And I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to do things like that. I've done it because I have autoimmune affiliated with lupus, like I told y'all before. And one of the side effects, or one of the symptoms rather, is I forget things. So it's like mid-conversation, I'll cut you off. And I'm sorry, I'm working on me. So I'm working on being more mindful. I'm working on being more slow to anger, even though I had like a big ass mishap in May. But either way, that's, we'll get into that another time. I've been going through it with my daughter. She's feeling herself because she's in her 20s, and I guess she wants to beat her chest and act like King Kong of the house. But I am King Kong of the house because I pay the bills, So there has been a clash with that, and the demise of the situation with the man that, I have feelings for. My mom has been aggravating me. My estranged husband has been getting on my nerves. But lately me and him have been on one accord because I had to sit down and have a conversation with him. Like, listen, if you're not going to be respectful when we have conversations, then conversations will all conclude, or we won't have conversations at all. I'm trying to have a smooth co-parenting experience. That's all it is. Now, if you're still in your feelings and you're mad and you just want to keep causing conflict, then that's something that you need to work on. But I am not going to entertain this bullshit with you. He got the gist of everything that I was saying, and we've been on one accord lately. We've been pretty cool. Would I ever go back to him? No. Because a leopard doesn't change its spots. So, no. We also went out for my son's graduation, and it was pretty nice. It was me, him, my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter, and my son. It was a pretty nice day. We had a great time, great dinner, and everything was cool. So, he told me the next day he enjoyed himself with his family, blah, blah, blah. Vice versa, I replied. But then he came here another time after that, like a week or so later, and he aggravated the fuck out of me. And I was like, I got to keep him at bay. Because I noticed with him, some people, when you are kind to them, they start showing their ass. So just be on your P's and Q's with folks. When people show you who they are, you know the saying, believe them, my friends. That whole playing the act of being mature and this and that, it was an act because that's not normally him, but he's following the beat of my drum. So I'm going to just keep that beat on one note. And that note is, we could be cordial. I'm not doing all this extra shit because, nah, you don't know how to act, homeboy. But anyways, you show people how to treat you. So even down to the guy again, when we started finally going on dates that I longed for those 5 freaking years, I wasn't demanding it before because I wasn't feeling so secure with myself. But he didn't know that. He just wasn't doing it. And some people are just not, I don't know, I'm not even going to bash him. But anyway, we finally started going on the dates because I started being like, listen, if we're not going to, you want me to come outside, but if you're not going to make it worth my while, I'm not going to leave my house to go to yours. Like, I can just still be on my own couch. So eventually he started ushering dates. He started being on his best behavior. Everything was cool, but a monkey wrench, which is either a person pulling him, but I feel like there is. But there's something that, I don't know, some people are just not willing to embrace love. Some people are not willing to settle down and mentally jaded that they just don't feel that they are worthy of love, so they sabotage it. And I don't care how well put together someone is. Like I said, oftentimes true feelings are masked with the finest clothes, jewelry, and trips and extravagant things, but you're scorned. You're scorned. You can't put any amount of money or materials on you being unhealed. You can't do it. Many times we try to mask our pain, or we try to brush it under the rug. us being unhealed. And then when you start to trip on it, you're like, what the fuck is this? And you're like, oh, that's all the shit that I swept under the rug. Once you start seeing that things are not in order, you have to clean it up on site, because when you start accumulating that dirt, you're going to trip over it. Now, my friends, the healing journey is not easy. You will have to unbag your baggage, and in doing so, you're going to release some things from that bag that you A, didn't think was still there, or B, it's just so heavy, it's going to bring you to your knees and you're going to cry, and you're going to release all of that pain that you bottled up for so many years. So me and my therapist, we talk, and things that I thought didn't bother me because it happened so many years ago, whether I was a child or just a teenager or whatever, adolescent, you think that certain things that since time has passed, it didn't bother you. But then when you start talking about it and you start healing, you start unraveling and unbagging the baggage, you realize it hurts. You start getting emotional. You're like, damn, I didn't even think that hurt. Yeah, because you buried it so deep into your bag. And then the stuff that you buried from your childhood to your teen years, to your adult years, to your current, you just kept putting it in that bag. So of course the things that you buried in that bag initially from when you were a child, it was hidden under everything else that you put on top of the mess that you already were dealing with. As you start to unload that bag, the bag gets less heavy, and you start to, release some of the pain. The relief feels good, but the pain seems heavy because these were things that you buried so long ago, and now you are revealing them, laying them out on the table, and you have to see it for what it is. And that shit is no joke, my friends. What might have seemed small because it happened so many years ago, no, it still affects you. Start crying, start reflecting and feeling all of these old feelings that you felt as a child, inadequate, neglected, abandonment, which contribute to your childhood trauma. That shit rears its ugly head again. And it's not easy. So I think that's why people choose not to heal, because they don't want to open up that wound again. But remember, if you keep covering a wound with a bandage and you're not healing that wound, you're not nurturing that wound, you're not giving it the proper care, you're just masking it. When you pull off that band-aid, it's going to be funky. It's going to stink. It's going to be infected, and you're going to have to really get in there, because now the infection has traveled. It's not just in that one area. It's traveled to the mind, it traveled to the body, it manifested itself with your appearance, with your mental state, all of those things. So take care of you and your childhood trauma. Heal your inner child, honey. Heal your now. We go through shit on a daily basis. I know, I understand it's not easy, but it gets easier if you do the work, okay? And it is work. And it's crazy because people are willing to work for what they want. They're willing to work for their job. They're willing to work for their boss. They're willing to work for degrees. They're willing to work to buy the finer things, but they're not willing to work on healing themselves. That's so crazy. Most times, all of the stuff that we're working and striving to get is for pleasure, like the trips and clothes and the this and the that we buy for ourselves. That's just to make us happy for the moment. But at the end of the day, when we strip ourselves down bare and we're in our home and we're with our thoughts, do those things even matter? Yeah, you have the memories, but you still have the fucked up memories of your childhood that you are not addressing. And now you're projecting all of this pain and insecurity and everything that you felt as a child that wasn't good. You're projecting that onto others, and you're leading that with your adult life. And it's fucked up because you're hurting people along the way. And you know that saying, hurt people, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's so crazy. You weren't given adequate love as a child. You're not going to know how to give it as an adult. You're not going to be willing to receive it. So whenever someone is administering love to you, you're pushing it away because you're like, this is foreign. What the hell is this? You're trying to hug me, kiss me, gift me, spend time with me. What the hell is this? We got to get a grip, people. We got to realize that we are here to love others. But love is so out of the norm for many of us because we haven't gotten it. And then there's some people who treat the people who they love far worse than anybody that they ever know. Like their friends, they treat them good. Their coworkers, they treat them good. Except for the people that they love, the closest people to them. And it's like, why are you fucking over somebody who gives a fuck about you? I'm confused because all these people that you are treating good, they don't really give a damn about you. They don't have your best interests at heart. They're not praying for you and your family and your well-being. But those are the people that get crapped on all the time. I am that person who have gotten crapped on. I've prayed for people. I've prayed for their family, for their circumstances, for their well-being, for longevity of life. And they just gave me the behind the kiss each and every time. So now I'm just learning to love people from a distance. My mom is on block. She gonna stay on block because she aggravates my soul. Listen, guys, I have gotten my certificate from Yale University. That's a big deal. I took a course with them online, and it was for Introduction to Psychology. I got a 92.66, I think. Yeah, so I'm that girl. I'm going for my life coach certificate. I'm writing my books. I have my merch, as you guys know, on Amazon. My books will be on Amazon. Oh, I have like composition books already on Amazon. Nothing too structured, but now I'm navigating off into writing actual books. One of my books will be called Snake Disguised as a Man. And to sum that up, it is all of the slick, slithery things that a snake does, how he slithers into everyone's life with the smoothness of a snake, but in actuality, he's a snake. He's not a man, he's a snake. But anyway, I'm writing that, and I'm definitely writing Why We Date Our Trauma, or Why We Date Our Childhood Trauma books. And that will be about how we'll date someone who will neglect us because we were neglected as children, and so on and so forth. Another book that I am writing will be How Men Cry Without Tears. So, the many ways that men act out and treat people and treat women and treat themselves ultimately, and how they live their lives. They're just crying out loud without the tears. And then my other book will be daddy issue book. So Why We Did Our Daddy Issues. So I'm pretty busy, y'all. I say all this to say that no matter what I'm doing, my mom is not happy for me. I can tell her these things, and she's like the person in school who sits on the bleachers and she hates on the cheerleader while she sits on the sideline glaring her eyes. And it's just like, girl, why you act like that? I'm your kid. You should be proud of me and my accomplishments. But it's weird, but it is what it is. Okay. So I've been dealing with my mom. I've been dealing with this back and forth with my daughter and her beating her chest, trying to see who's head honcho. I've been dealing with this guy and this off and on. I've been dealing with my children. I told you I have a daughter with autism. Sometimes she acts up and I got to deal with her temperament. My son is 14 and he's smelling himself because he has a mustache. Like, come on. It's just a lot of shit than to deal with a soon-to-be ex-husband. It's a lot of things going on in my world that I'm still here existing, but I'm just tired of people taking me for granted, people hurting me, people taking my love and not cherishing the type of person that I am. That hurts, but I'm learning to deal with people as they are. I am looking at people not even just as flesh anymore. I'm looking at their soul and realize many people are tainted souls, and I can't take things personally. So that projection that they're doing, I just choose to keep you at bay, arm's distance, if you are that type of person that I don't really want to have that extensive relationship with. I pray for you, I wish you well and things like that, but it is what it is. As far as this man, what I love for him this Friday night, what I love for him to just text me and be like, come outside and whisk me away to his crib, or just even to smell his scent and give him a hug and sniff him. I do things like that. Like I'm a puppy, I'll sniff his neck. All done things like that. But I mean, it would be nice. It would be, but I'm quite sure that won't happen. So I have to learn how to deal with it and move on. And it's okay to move on. It's okay to start over. It's okay to be hurt also. But it's not okay to stay in that state of hurt forever. We are human. We do have feelings and things like that. So I understand. I've been through heartache. I've been through losing people that I loved, and I've been through grief, and I've lost some family members, 2 brothers. It's a lot that goes on in someone's daily life, but that doesn't give them the right to take that out on others. So when you have someone in your life that takes their anger and pain out on you, and it's time for you to go. Yes, it hurts, but we all know the saying, this too shall pass. And we have to realize sometimes you have to let something go in order to grab onto something else that was meant for you. Your hands are full of all of the wrong things, my friends. So I'm working on me, be on my self-love, mental health, self-care journey, and I will take you along on the ride. I will be getting my life coach certificate, as I think I mentioned, because I'm an Aquarius and we are humanitarians. It's ironic that we don't like people, but we love people at the same time. That's the crazy part. And I don't even think that it's just that we don't like people. We are just tired of being hurt because people take people like me who are kind-hearted for granted. So I think it's more so that. But y'all, I'm going to fill y'all in, keep y'all in the loop on my solo dates, my this and that. I'm going to start incorporating video into my podcast. So those of you who are listening on Spotify, you can see my goofy facial expressions and just me, period, because y'all already know I'm very animated. I don't think I was very animated on this episode here. I'm pretty mellow today. But anyway, I'm going to go do my nails, go give myself a pedicure, give myself some acrylic tips, put some rhinestones on there, and spruce myself up. I'm not even going nowhere today, y'all. I've been in the streets for far too long. I'm going to parlay at the crib, work on me, maybe wash some clothes, who knows. Maybe binge watch some shows this weekend too. I've been drinking my wine, I've been vibing, I've been having solo parties and all of that. So in closing, love you. Most of all, put God first. But as far as people on this earth, humans, put yourself first, honey. Don't put no man, woman, or child in front of you, because if you are not good, you're not going to be good for anybody else. Thank you for listening. To my oldies, thanks for coming back and returning and actually waiting it out for me to load new episodes. And for my newbies, I thank you for joining me on this ride. It's a bumpy one. It's not always smooth, but it's very well worth the destination. I love you for listening. Thank you, babies. I wish you all peace, love, and a blissful life. Have a great, wonderful day. God bless, babies.
Talking about the pain we hide, childhood secrets deep inside, toxic love that's torn us down. Healing's here, let's wear the crown. Mental health we got to share, open hearts that truly care. Podcast voice so full of soul, finding ways to make us whole. Openly expressive truth, sharing all that we've been through.